saw just right out of the bat.
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, you see the impact that he otherwise could have had on us or for us, obviously earlier in the season. So we're thrilled to have him back. It's one of those things. I think as he gets into the plan more, and have a plan that he's in the plan. As much as anything, I think certainly we expect big things from him. I know he expects big things from him, from himself, and so in any event, no. Hopefully, just the beginning for him.
Alex, can you just talk about the takeaways? 3 takeaways, including 2 interceptions by Trey Williams.
Yeah, excited for Trey. It's been almost 2 years since he started a football game. Obviously, he's played for us this year, and I just think you continue to see a more confident football player. Coming back off of injury, you miss all that time, and then what would have been a critical offseason for him. To get back in the mix in spring football and summer and all that stuff. Obviously, you don't have that available to you. So, again, coming off an injury, I don't want to say extended the injury, but it just creates a little different, obviously a plan for him in terms of getting ready. Because all of a sudden, you think your real football is going to start in March, and all of a sudden you don't get a chance to do it until August. So, no, I've been pleased, and we're excited to have him back, and a guy that will continue having an impact for us.
Those 3 takeaways, is that sort of the message that you can send to the rest of the defense, saying this is what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's proof that it's possible. Sometimes you feel like when you talk about something so much and you end up not getting it, it's almost like this fantasy land. The teams that do, and we just are one of those that doesn't, and that's obviously not reality. It's not like someone else has a monopoly on takeaways that we're not in on the secret type of deal. And so that's something that it's week by week. Obviously, it has a huge impact. It had an incredible impact on the momentum of this game. We've been on the other side of that this year, from a momentum standpoint. And so, obviously, critical plays and the message is again, you don't get credit for these next week. You got to go create them again.
Alex, your defense did a great job of recovering from that opening series. Talk about that, Alex, because your defense played really well for the next 25 minutes after that opening series. You have to be happy with how you turned it around.
Yeah, and I think one of the least kind of predictive things as you look at a football game or any sport is that that first drive, like that somehow is going to be indicative of what takes place the rest of the game. I always use the example, if we get a 3 and out, no one's going to be naive enough to think that every series is going to be a 3 and out after that. And so there's a psychology behind this thing. Give them credit. There's a good chance we did something wrong in that first series. You get punished when you do things wrong in sports, and so obviously we did. And then I think also, credit goes to them. There's a good coaching staff. They stress you in every which way with their RPO game, and it's something that again, very, very, one mistake can turn into an explosive play, and you saw that a couple times tonight. But no, I think there is a positive in that, because that one series did not turn into 2. So I can say it shouldn't happen, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. And so no, I think again, there's some messaging going on that hopefully again, you got a little bit more proof as to why it's important to not take too much stock in one play or one drive.
Hey Alex, even though you guys continue to improve, and I'm sure there are tons of areas you would say you want to get even better on, but to have the improvement and winning and continuing to sort of have your foot jammed a little bit more in that door to get in the Big 12 title game again, how important are those carrots to your guys to continue to sort of have those things out there, not just getting better, but now sort of seeing results out there?
Yeah, and I think that's, it is important. I think, and maybe we've talked about it before. I mean, better can be a trap where you just start, patting each other on the back all the time and say we're better. You're better by what standard? It's something that we continue to battle, not being satisfied with some of those things. I use the example with our guys. You don't get credit for what you do on Tuesday unless you go do it on Saturday. Same thing, but how critical Tuesday is to your Saturday. And so all this stems from, becoming a better practice team, better practice defense, taking more of an ownership in how you compete and how you play over the week preceding the game. And that's a huge thing. Now, but to your point, to then it carries over on a Saturday, and you put, stack enough good plays together, and you get some takeaways, and you find a way to get out the field on third downs. Disappointing when we subbed at the end. Some guys that had opportunities that now again, it gives them us a chance to coach them. So I got to be a big boy about that too, and be glad they got in. Some guys got their first action.
How much better do you feel about your depth right now starting? You've seen a lot of guys play, especially today, but how much more confidence do you have first, second, third string guys playing?
Yeah, and it's building, but I will say, and not to go negative, but in the same token is man, if we think we have depth, you better prove us right. When you get in that football game and you have an opportunity to make a play late in the game, prove us right that we think you should be in there, right? No one made us sub. And so, as it is a positive being able to rotate more guys. Certainly I would highlight the front, like we've talked about before, the ability to rotate guys and really not take too much stock as to who's in the game. Which sometimes you do say, wait a second, we can't have this individual in with another one. In terms of you don't want all of a sudden you look up and your two defenses out there, in the second quarter or something like that. But no, I think you're certainly seeing it in the front, and then if you can get the win off of it, which obviously we're fortunate enough to do tonight, like I mentioned, is now all of a sudden you got a chance to watch the video and correct those guys, and they've been in the under the lights, an additional time, and you can kind of coach off that video. So I think it's building, and like I said, we got to make sure those guys that we think we trust kind of prove us right.
I'm good. My question is,
I like those questions.
Game on offense started chewing the clock the third quarter tonight. You have like 10 minutes of possession. Are you starting to notice the physicality on offense paying off for your defense in the last couple of games?
Well, yeah, they're complementary football obviously is a critical element. What's important for us is in conjunction with that. Are we getting off the field? Because sometimes you look at time of possession and some of those things, which obviously is a critical stat. And I don't know exactly what it was in the third quarter, so don't quote me. But how many possessions did we get in the third quarter versus how many possessions they got in the third quarter? And sometimes that number is closer than you think it is, despite time of possession. So that means that if the offense does a good job of marching and find a way to come out with points. Obviously, a huge one, just coming out the gate there in the third quarter. But okay, now how do we respond to that? How obviously it benefits us when they're able to have drives like that. Okay, well how can we complement that? Because if it just turns into another, we got a 12-play drive and all of a sudden we give up a 12-play drive and now it's a back and forth scoring affair. Obviously that it is not what we're looking for. So no, absolutely it's critical. It's critical, for anything that you're trying to do defensively. And again, the message is, regardless of that, we have a responsibility to do the things that are necessary to get off the field. And for stretches of time tonight, we were able to do that.